and welcome back to Blue Crescent Tarot. My name is Deanne, and I am just here today with a quick VR, hopefully, to Zane at Tarot Toke Witchery. And this VR is called Recent 5 Top 3. And so the idea is that you take your most recent 5 decks that you have received or that have come into your possession, and you choose your top 3 cards from each of those decks. So I actually prepped for this yesterday so that I could be not so rambly and just have this be relatively succinct. So my top 5, I don't remember, or I'm sorry, my recent 5 decks, I don't remember the order which one I've received most recently, but I did finally decide which were my most recent 5. So I have the Lost Forest 2nd edition, and this is by Chelsea Santamaria. Well, not second, because again, I don't know the order, but Cilla Conway's The Shimmering Veil Tarot is in my recent 5. This is also 2nd edition. And the 5 Cent Tarot, 2nd edition. And what else? 5 Cent, Shimmering, Lost Forest, and that's 4. Oh, Majestic Earth. I got this a few weeks ago, direct from the publisher. They came back with some factory seconds. They had some at 20, 30, 40% off. They also had a few that were full price, deluxe edition, or special edition, whatever it's called, and I went for that one because I wanted this and kind of missed out on it. So very happy to have this in my collection now, and I've actually been using this throughout October as my hashtag Embrace the Magical that Kelly Fitzgerald from The Truth and Story and Patrick from The Living Wheel have put together. So do check out my Instagram for that if you want to see what I've been doing with this deck for the month of October. Following those prompts. I'll include all of that information in the description box below. And the 5th one, again, not really in order, is the Margarete Petersen Tarot Burgundy box. This is the German edition. I was trying to get a hold of this for quite a while. Finally came across one, had a bit of an issue getting this. I had to go through an admin of a group, and there were probably 5 or 6 of us also in that group trying to get decks that we were kind of scammed out of, and I think everyone's almost squared away. We finally, that admin was able to track down the person and get them communicating and fixing problems that they had created for all of us. But anyway, so this one came to me sort of differently than many decks come to me, but I feel good about it, and I've cleansed it and been working through it a little bit. So still a beautiful deck, and I'm really happy to have it. So let me just start with that one. So my top 3 from this deck are, now this is in German, so I've only journaled some of the majors so far, but I think this would be the 6 of Air. And I just really like this one. It sort of looks like a snowflake to me at first glance, and I love that just kind of icy blue look with the feathers. This one just really is kind of a breath of fresh air when looking through the rest of the deck. There are some really kind of red, intense, fiery cards, and a lot of blues as well, but this one just kind of made me stop, so I pulled this one out. And then the Fool card, which is iconic as the cover art for this box. And it kind of has like storm clouds and rough waters, and then this separate kind of glimpse in here to where the Fool is, and I just really love this concept. So that was my 2nd one from Margarete Petersen. And then the Death card is just amazing to me, and this really kind of captures what I think of when I think of death, rather whether that is figurative or literal, right? Oftentimes when the Death card comes up in tarot, I think about this voluntary stepping into transformation, and even if we're thinking about literal death, this is what it is to me, the cosmic side, just on the other side of this veil. And so this just really kind of perfectly captures my concept and my idea of death. So those are my top 3 for that one. And from the Shimmering Veil, it was hard to choose for all of these, but especially from this one. 10 Pentacles. And I just love the pathway. I don't know how much you can see, but there are what appear to be kind of like faces or skulls down here in the path. And then it goes into maybe some like zodiac symbols. And I just thought the colors and the motion on that one were really beautiful. The second one is the High Priestess, which really grabbed me when I watched Simon's walkthrough of this. Simon at the Hermit's Cave, I'll put his link in as well. He read a little bit from the book about this High Priestess, about Cilla's meaning for this card. And that and the image really kind of grabbed me and knew I had to have this right away. So that was definitely a favorite. And then the Four of Wands. I love this kind of rainy, to me it looked like kind of like walking in the rain or walking near fall colors on trees. And my son and I do that a lot. So this one just kind of looked like a sweet mother-son moment, something to celebrate the little things and those kind of milestones. So this one really spoke to me, and I also just felt it was really beautiful. So there are my 3 from the Shimmering Veil. Pop this back under the book here. This one is, again, really new too, and I don't have a ton of free time, so I've only journaled through a few of these majors as well. So for most of these, I just quickly went through and looked. Sometimes I would end up with like a pile of 7 or 10 cards, and then I would go through again really quickly and just pick my 3 that kind of jumped out to me. So really without a ton of thought, I went through and just did kind of a quick fire, one of my favorites. So that's how I went about this, since these are so new to me. Lost Forest, 2nd edition, I chose the Death card, and this is a little difficult to see probably, but there's kind of a shadow figure here, and then there's like a lighter shadow figure over here on the other side, and I just really liked this concept of kind of walking through the woods, right? That's still something, it's still a decision that you have to make and walk through to this self that's on the other side. Loved that. And then the Fool card is someone just walking into the woods. I'm not really sure where my light is right now, so I'm going to kind of move these around. But this is just beautiful. This whole deck is really, if you like this color palette here shown in the Fool card, that's kind of a catch-all of what is shown throughout the deck. And then the Page of Earth, because it has this cutest little creature right here. I can't get over how cute it is. I love it so much. And it's different because, you know, in the traditional Rider-Waite, we see the page like this, you know, typically younger but, you know, grown person who is stepping out on this adventure. And I just love so much this little guy with the, or little girl with the little acorn just glowing, ready to go. Those are my 3. And let's see, 5 Cent Tarot. This deck is just beautiful, and this might be the only deck that I have that's linen, a linen finish on the cardstock, and I just really love it. I didn't know how I would feel about a linen deck, but it is amazing. Also, I got this lavender one, and it's beautiful. I'll just kind of flip it all around to see where the colors pick up. But it's absolutely gorgeous, and I just had to have a lavender deck. Oh, okay. So this, just to say a little bit about this deck, I think as non-traditional as the images are and as busy as the cards are, I would still argue that this is a really good beginner deck, because it has the keywords on it, but to me, they don't take away. Here's one of my favorites. I chose the Queen of Buttons, which would be Queen of Pentacles. It has the kangaroo and like this baby carriage and hare or rabbit here. All this kind of nurturing. And the keywords for this one are caregiver, providing, practicality, and then in the reverse, it has meanings too. I don't typically read reversals. I just read the card holistically, depending on what's coming up around it and what my intuition is saying is really standing out in that card. But I think this is great if someone's looking for a study deck, a learner deck, and it's really beautiful too. So anyway, Queen of Buttons. 5 of Cups. I just really loved the umbrella. And this one, it kind of caught my eye when I was doing my quick flip through, so I pulled this one out. And it also kind of, in terms of the meaning, reminded me, to care for and embrace what you still have. Take what's left in the umbrella and be grateful for that. And then I chose this card, which is an extra card in this deck, called the Unknown. Or maybe the title, no, this would be the title of the card, the Unknown, and then up here it says Divine Faith. This is card 22, so this comes after the World, or Universe. I'm not sure what's in this card. I think the World. And this was the card I chose for my third favorite in this deck, because I typically leave extra cards in, and I just think it's a really powerful piece. So that's that. And then last but not least, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My Majestic Earth. This was hard. This was maybe the hardest to choose 3. This deck is gorgeous, so in case you don't know, it's all existing artwork that is then pulled together to use in the deck. And the 3 I landed on are 4 of Water, which this may look like 4 of Wands because of all the trees, but you'll see that it's looking through to a little bit of water. And so that's the one thing about this deck. If you're really, I know a lot of people say about decks that have pre-existing artwork used, they say, oh, I feel like they just made it work. I feel like they made it fit into, the 4 of Water meaning, or 4 of Cups meaning. And that's fair, but I really like that concept. I would love to have 100 pictures out in front of me and make them all fit into a tarot meaning, right? That's worthwhile to me, and I think this deck is beautiful and does a really great job. So there's a person here under the tree, so that kind of ties it in to the traditional 4 of Cups. And in the Rider-Waite, we don't have, this big ocean scene or anything. So I think it still really works. And just, again, with the fall colors, I'm just a sucker for that. So really love that. And then kind of peeking through to that little lake, I think is just beautiful. Give you a few different angles in case the light is not great. And then there are 4 or 5 element cards in the deck as well, and that's one that I chose. This is the Water element card, and this took my breath away when it came up. In one of the first readings I did for myself with this deck, this came up, I think the second reading I did, and it's just beautiful. There's not a more beautiful collection of blues, I don't think, and it just looks so real. So there's that. And then the third one, I had a really hard time picking a third card, and I'm going to point out, this is the Steward of Clouds, which would be the page, and there's, I'm sure you can't see it, but right above my fingernail there's a spirit kind of flying with their arms out, and I just really love this graveyard scene. Again, there are so many beautiful cards in this deck, but this one really had to be my favorite. Just love the graveyard scene and that idea of finding inspiration there. I used to be one of those people that walked through the cemetery, the graveyard, and I probably still would, given the time, but I just always found it really peaceful and inspiring, and that's what I feel like the page, or in this case the Steward of Clouds, is really about, finding that peace and inspiration, and saying, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the first step. So this kind of reminded me of taking that first step with spirit support. So there's that, and I think that's it for my recent 5 top 3. So again, relatively quick video for me, but I had a few spare minutes, so I wanted to jump on while I was able. And thank you to Zane for setting up this tarot tag and this video response prompt. It was a really fun way to kind of go through my decks and take some time and just flip through and see what my favorites were for those. So anyway, I hope you play along with this. I'm going to be checking out a bunch of these tags tomorrow on my morning and afternoon work breaks to see what other people have been saying, because I actually haven't even watched. I started watching Chris's VR to this at Elemental Cartomancy, and I'll link his channel as well. And that's how I first found out about this. So I haven't actually even seen Zane's original video, but I will include everything below. And I think that's it. I hope you have an awesome day. It's Sunday where I am, but I probably won't have this edited until later tonight, so it might show up Sunday night, Monday morning. But wherever, whenever, just want to send love to you all. Thank you so much.